What is up, y'all? I hope everybody's doing well. We're here for our anchor message for the week. We had a holiday in the States, so I took the day off, and those days usually no one's watching videos anyway. So just to be able to get, I guess, better exposure into the algorithm, I just waited for today anyway. So yeah, after this, I'm going to go ahead and film our Oracle manifestation reading for the week as well. So that episode will drop shortly after this one. So yes, very powerful message to start the week. If you haven't already, you may want to also watch the weekly Oracle energy forecast for the week, which those are the videos that I do on Sunday night. And they give basically an energetic or spiritual forecast for the week to come. What kind of energy we're going to be living under, what kind of like spiritual weather we're living, moving, having our being in. And then usually it's on Mondays, but at the beginning of the week, I'll do the anchor message, which is a deeper look into the archetypal lessons that we're kind of assigned to from headquarters in Soul School for the week. So today we are doing the anchor message, and we're using the wild unknown archetypes, and we're clarifying with the Mystical Moments Tarot is, I think, the name of it. So the archetypes were the vow, followed by the kiss, followed by the bardo. And then underneath the vow, we have 8 of Swords. Underneath the kiss, we have 4 of Swords. And underneath bardo, we have 8 of Cups. So basically, overall, what I'm feeling, is this continuation of the season of Teshuvah. Honestly, as we've been doing our self-reflection, our acts of Teshuvah, which are, a rigorous and honest self-reflection and evaluation, acts of compassion, atonement. It's all about returning to that sense of higher self, and returning away from the self-defeating or self-sabotaging or limiting beliefs or the wounds from the past or traumas from the past or things, basically the baggage that weighs us down, or these shells of negativity that start weighing us down and hiding and dimming our light from within. And so that light is always within us. And so what we do in our what's called tikkun correction or karmic cleansing, in our soul progression and our soul transcendence, is to break away those layers of negativity. And so every year, the month preceding Rosh Hashanah, there's this time called Teshuvah, where it's called returning to the path, is what essentially the word means. And it is kind of seeing all the ways that we have gone off path, or that we've let our darkness or our weakness or our misconceptions hold us back from, revealing our true potential, and being in alignment with that true soul purpose, and living in that sort of like divinely inspired, guided state where, we're being guided in the right direction and we're experiencing like favor and fulfillment. So right now, it's like we've been going through the steps. We're getting closer to Rosh Hashanah. It's coming up the next couple of weeks. And so now it's like having gone through these different initiations, it's like now we're arriving at a point where it's up to us to, now that we're seeing these things, all of these things have been coming up and shown to ourselves. Now that we see more clearly, it's up to us to keep the promises that we've made to ourselves, to correct these soul contracts, right, that we have, to transcend these patterns that may have been following us over and over again in this life. And then over and over again in other lives and other incarnations, if that's something that happens, right? So this is about the vow. It's about honoring the soul contracts and completing them and wrapping them up and healing what we can and trying to progress forward from them as our new self, right? We're freeing ourselves. Eight of Swords is about feeling despondent and trapped and in despair, and just, it's like this angel is sitting in this cage it's outgrown it, and the lid is open. It can leave, but it just doesn't know how to look up from its despondency and resignation, essentially. So in other forms of art, the Eight of Swords is a person bound very loosely, and they're standing and there's a fence of swords around them, but it's like open. They can just walk away. It's not like, they're not really trapped. It's an illusion. So this is about breaking through and keeping that promise to ourselves to break through what's been keeping us limited, trapped, small, bound in fear or scarcity or reactiveness from our base nature, right? Because we don't believe and, have hope that things can be better or that we deserve more or that more is possible, right? So the vow, the soul contracts that are coming up right now, it's important that we deal with those so that we can go forward and have a new life and a new experience. On Rosh Hashanah, if you're just tuning in, you may not know about this yet, so I just want to clarify that it's the birthday of the birth of our existence, Adam and Eve, that whole Genesis, and God created the world, Big Bang, right? The birth of this physical reality. And so that's also the birthday of all mankind. And it's also the same day that Adam and Eve fell in the garden. And it wasn't their initial mistake that made them fall. That was just the initial test, the initial male opponent. The female opponent came around and actually caused the fall with their shame and their guilt. They covered themselves after that. So there was a separation from the complete unity and oneness with that nirvana, that divine consciousness. So every year on this day, everyone gets basically kind of like a soul dry cleaning. It's like everyone gets a new soul, and they have a new chance to wipe the slate clean every year and go forward with a fresh foot forward and have a year full of blessings and abundance, right? But your year, like the light that you receive is kind of based on like the work that you did the previous year. But it's like, that's because it's what you're able to walk forward with from here and what you can do with it. Because it's like going out and wearing a white dress or a white pair of pants. It's like you're probably going to get a stain on them or get them smudged or something. It's hard to keep it clean for more than a few minutes. So that's why we do this evaluation, the self-evaluation. Because if we have the same short circuits and we fail the same tests in the same way, it's like those tests keep appearing every year, sometimes around the same time of year. Sometimes it's with the same people, same jobs, same circumstances, and the same geographical location. Sometimes it's just similar, but you'll notice that, right? And so it's about keeping the promises to yourself to go forward with a new clean slate and try your best to set yourself up for the best year ahead, to be more of the person that you want to be, to fulfill more of the Creator's potential that the light has in store for us. And honestly, it's something that I've grown joyous into surrendering to, because the light, the divine path is going to be the most fulfilling for me. It's going to be the most exciting. It's going to flow. It's going to be the most fulfilling. It's going to have the most depth and meaning and purpose for me. So it's like, I'm happy to comply. And so I've started embracing obstacles as detours in the right direction, as Gabrielle Bernstein likes to say. She's a really great writer and content creator. So if you don't follow her, you should, and read her books. After following this is the kiss. So the kiss is about this energy, this electricity. I mean, it talks about actual physical kissing in this in the book, but it's more, I think, right now about the electricity that it starts to build before the miracle happens, before the magic happens, before the thing comes through, but right before the Big Bang, there was this pressure in the singularity that had to know where to go but out, right? The creator, when creator was sitting in a state of oneness before there was a physical reality, there was nothing to share with, there was only light, there was no vessel, there was only one limitless endlessness. And so there was a primordial point of concentration of that light that began to form that pierced through this thin, I don't know, it created a veil, right? It pierced through into this space that was created in order to catch this light. And so that electricity, that building, right? That's what we're talking about. It's like this raw, unadulterated potential that wants to just burst forth and through. And so there's this like sacred aliveness and this energy going on right now within us during this transformation about like letting the healing happen and letting that energy build, because as we release and as we move forward from these old patterns, it's like things are going to start coming through, opportunities, new ways to move forward, new levels of opportunities for relationships, new opportunities for new people to meet, new friends, new career paths, even new jobs, a new level of self and opportunity. But we have to get past the old self and the old cycles first. And so this Four of Swords is like, take a time out, like relax into this moment. There's the moon, this half moon, this crescent moon on both of these themes. And it's like you're being held, relax into this waning moon that's like letting go of whatever was so that the new can come in, the new cycle can start. But don't rush that process because you want to let it really settle so that you can really be healed and released and separated from the past before you move forward and really solidify that new self, keeping those promises, right? And so like part of this time period is like, it's so uncomfortable, it's so painful, but it's like we can let that pain do its work to do the transmutation, to do that alchemy of letting that, like the change come over us for real, the transformation of letting the heat take that lead that we've been given and separate it from the refuse and the impurities and come back with gold in the end. But we need that time, we need that space to, recenter, recalibrate, let that energy build. And the more that we let go, the faster like the new is going to come in. I just feel like this is going to be a really sudden shift. The more that we can surrender and allow and just relax into the healing with like just complete peace and surrender. And I think that that's going to allow everything to flow really fast and healing and a like revelation to come over it. And I think it's really safe to embrace this because the Bardo, although the Bardo looks scary, this is a liminal space between death and rebirth, death and resurrection, where the ultimate quickness, deep, intense healing happens, intense transformation. This is the place where we're having these like visions of what's next, what we really want for ourselves, what this new self that's birthing through. This is like a protective space, almost like that void, right? That the light had to burst forth through that singularity, right? That primordial point. And it created this big bang of fire and passion and light and inspiration. But then there was that, so it's like, what was that space that it burst forth into? That's the divine feminine. That's that supernal feminine energy of the womb, right? That catches that raw masculine, unadulterated potential light force, right? And so when the universe, the Big Bang happened, there was that period of contraction and cooling, and the gases started to collect and coagulate. And that's when the minerals started to come together, and nebula began to form, and stars began to be birthed, and galaxies and worlds. And so this is that moment. It's like we're not there yet, but we're not who we just were either. And so this is like a nice moment, a gifted moment, to just have the respite and the rejuvenation and the moment of healing available as just this safe house, or whatever, this like safe haven, this cocoon. Okay, and then under Bardo is 8 of Cups. And so 8 of Cups is about moving on in a new, more fulfilling direction towards something more meaningful, away from something that just hasn't delivered. It's like you're on the 8 of Cups is still searching for more. They're still looking for that 9th cup and the 10th cup. The 9th cup being wishes fulfilled, and the 10th cup being overflow and satisfaction and abundance and sustaining, value of long-term harmony and fulfillment. And so the 8 of Cups is like, it's been through a journey. There's still a journey yet to go. And so the road ahead, like, we're getting back on the path here, right? We're getting back into Teshuvah. And even though it's like we're going into this dark uncertainty, like we don't know what's ahead, but that's the test, right? That's the real faith, emunah, faith beyond reason, faith beyond, certainty, is what is required to keep affinity with the light. Because it's that certainty in the Creator that the path will be revealed and all will be well, no matter what. If we believe in the Creator, we can believe that the Creator can work it out and do so. Then it's like, okay, nothing can shake us from that sense of trust, serenity, that feeling of divine love, that we're being cared for, that we're being guided, that we're being looked after. So yes, just know that you can relax into this moment, that it's serving to help free you from what has held you back in the past. Really take time to meditate, to have regular prayer, and practice, a spiritual practice of nourishment to tune in and tap into source and that higher self, because that guidance will come through. The kiss is also about the whisper of spirit, the inspiration of spirit. So I feel like part of this in this electrical moment is that since we are looking into this dark unknown here, it's like we're listening even more closely for the whispers, this quiet, subtle, calm, confident guidance coming from that loving, deep place within. That's the higher self. That's the spirit self. There's a part of us, the deepest part of us, that's just a piece of that source light that is completely whole, totally complete, in complete connection and alignment in that Garden of Eden with source still, with no process to go through, no flaws, no weaknesses, no tikkun, no karma, no no fears, no doubts, no weaknesses. It's that the version of us that's complete and has no pain, no layers of negativity at all. It's just that idealized, perfect, potential, heavenly version of ourself, right? And that part of us is in there. And the more that we get quiet and we tune into source, the more that we start having affinity with that self. But it does take us keeping those vows to ourselves and those promises to ourselves as we show up and we make choices, and take actions and choose our thoughts and choose our feelings and choose our perspective and our consciousness. So Teshuvah. I hope everyone has a great week. And yeah, I will be seeing you shortly for our manifestation oracle reading. Ciao.